sweet air of heaven. There is the task. There is the burden. If I cannot move heaven, I will raise hell. We'll talk about that later, but now it's time for Rick Tittle and Titillating Sports on Sports Byline USA. All right, thank you for that, and welcome to a Thursday edition of Titillating Sports. Great to have you with us, wherever you are listening in this great land of ours. Okay, fine, we have a really big show. When do we not? Some guests. We will have Andrew Gans, who's here to talk about a documentary about his dad. Second hour, Omar Vizquel will come back on the show, talk about an event he has going on in his native Venezuela. We'll also look at the documentary, The Greatest of These, with the subject, Bruce Deel, and the director, Nick Nanton. Third hour, Abdelrahman Sandstorm Shalan for an upcoming sumo event. And also, to close out the show, we'll have the gold medal speed skater from our United States of America. She also was the flag bearer, which is a great honor at the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. It's Erin Jackson. She will join us. Everywhere in between, though, sports talk. 1-800-878-PLAY is the number to call. 1-800-878-7529. Get in and get heard. Football, basketball, baseball, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, quarter ball, chess, checkers, rugby, cricket, all that good stuff at 1-800-878-PLAY. You can also listen to us stream through sportsbyline.com. Click listen live. If you want to write an email, please send those to rick@sportsbyline.com. Plus the TuneIn app, the iHeartRadio app, the Stitcher app. And I'm on camera here, little webcams on twitch.tv and also YouTube as well, because there's nothing like watching a guy with reading glasses speaking to a microphone. It's surreal. And CRN Digital +2, that is CRN Digital +2, cable radio network, 24/7, Sports Byline in 35 million homes. The Twitter at Rick Tittle, and the fan page on Facebook is Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. 3 hours. Let's do it.
Right now, you can switch from cable television to satellite television for free. That's right, we're offering free equipment, free installation, plus get a free $100 prepaid Visa card. Call the Satellite TV hotline right now. Make the switch from cable to satellite television and expand your viewing horizon. On top of free installation, for a limited time, we're offering a fixed price guarantee. With Satellite TV, save money over your expensive cable bill. Plus, get access to hundreds of channels. And when you call right now, you can also ask about our seniors and military discounts. So make the switch to Satellite TV right now. Everybody gets free installation, free equipment, plus a $100 prepaid Visa card. Call right now and you can switch to Satellite TV and be watching everything you wanted to within the next week. And remember, installation's free, so call right now. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
It's more than rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turn Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work, real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with sportsbettingclaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of millions for individuals who lost their property to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. Sportsbettingclaim.com.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome, he's a genius.
You're now listening to the Rick Tittle Show. Good for you.
All right, thanks for that. Welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. And the Warriors playing game at L.A. against the Clippers at the Intuit Dome. By the way, I found out, the state-of-the-art building built by this guy Ballmer from Microsoft, who I hear is a complete horse's ass in person, but I've met him, but I've had people tell me that. Like, everybody is, somebody has said I am too, so I don't want to, how's that possible? I don't know, but anyway, he just doesn't seem like a nice guy, but he bought the Clippers, remember, for multiple billions when Donald Sterling got forced out. And he stands there and jumps around like a jackass. And he built this new dome. I found out that it has a electrical because you have to keep your phone. Does it make me mad? No. I know there are some places with club seats that have that. So that's not new, but it is new for every person to get their own. But as I was mentioning yesterday, I don't know if you tuned in, but I was attending the ballet. I had interviewed a young man named Andres Kunzens, who was in the production of La Sylphide by the San Francisco Ballet. World-class ballet, talent from all over the world. Kunzens is from Halifax, Nova Scotia. I say that because there's Halifax in England. Talk about Halifax. Maybe we just say Halifax here. But when I went to see on Lake, which was incredible, and I went to a couple of performances that amazing. There was one that was called British Ballet. Oof. There's a lot of stomping. But Swan Lake, I'm not even a ballet fan. I don't even know what I'm looking at. But I want to get a seat and clap like 10 times during that performance. Anyway, the principal, and her on the show, she was Swedish, and the San Francisco plucked her away from the Viennese ballet. What I'm trying to say is there's world-class talent. It's a world-class building, opera house, that whole area at Civic Center, and is amazing. It looks very European. I've always maintained, because of the fact that San Francisco City Hall is the great building of the Rockies. It's beyond any discussion. It makes our state capitol look like a turd. There's no building that is as grand or magisterial and enormous and fantastic as San Francisco City Hall. So it's very inspiring, but of course Civic Center is also cultural. And when I go to the ballet, I actually put on a coat and tie, just a sport coat and slacks, suit. But I was walking across the square hall, and all I could think of was, wow, I haven't stepped over. There was one guy doing the fentanyl yoga, poor back, looking like the letter U, or small n, I should say, just bent over. When I was about a half a block house where the ballet is, this young guy went up, not to me, and just screamed at the top of his lungs, "You don't belong in my country. You animal. "Get out of my country, you dirty animal!" Just screaming it and kind of walking behind me a little bit, screaming that. And I'm a total sticks and stones guy. I didn't care. I mean, obviously, if he put his hands, it wouldn't have been good for one of us or both of us. But so anyway, I jinxed it. I was like, "There's no kooks." No, there's a kook. I'm like, I'm going to turn around and be like, "My mother's family has been in North America since 1755, so we've been here long. It's been a country, so I actually kind of belong." No, there was none of that. By the way, the guy, um, well, less I say, the better. Anyway, so I go to the opera, and it's my kind of opera. Half hour intermission, half hour, and girls in dresses, pretty cool sets. I have no idea what's going on because you can't. I think it's funny when in the ballet, every character has a name, but no one knows the name because no one talks. There's literally no way of knowing, and so that's why the guy goes, "Oh, he's Madge." No one says Madge. That's just like code during rehearsal. Madge stands over here. Point is, it was the same time as the Warrior game, and I was pretty pessimistic. And I said on the air yesterday, I go, there's a real possibility that Curry goes nuts because I've seen it a million times, and that's how the Warriors win. And I got out right as the fourth quarter was beginning, and it looked bad. It looked really bad. And then the Warriors went on this amazing run. How about Al Horford stepping up? A guy that is this year, and for his height, he shoots like a two guard. It was very, of course, Curry. When it was tied with just left, and he took the pass, or he dribbled up, gave it to Draymond. Draymond immediately gives it back. He goes left, does the step back, drains it. Another crowd. At first, I thought he was like fake punching somebody. Somebody gave him a pound, and he pounded him back. But that second half, Curry began it with 8 points, and you kind of think, like, a guy's been hurt so long. It's too much to ask. Plus, the Clippers have owned the Warriors this year. Just beat them Sunday night in that building, and then Curry goes nuts for 27 in the second half, ended up with 35. And as I mentioned, Al Horford, 4 3-pointers during the fourth quarter. And I remember looking up, and it said the Warriors are on a 12-2 run, and I was like, wow. So that 3-point, to be exact, 50.4 seconds left. They erased a 13-point deficit, a complete collapse, and ended up being a 16-6 run. They held Kawhi Leonard scoreless in the fourth until 16 seconds left. Draymond was playing some good D, and Porzingis on a Podziemski free throw miss. Of course, it was worth it though because Porzingis flies in like he's a young Russell Westbrook or something and just slams it home. He scored 20. And he's, you think about Curry's 38 years old, Horford's 39 years old. It was just guys finding their rhythm, finding their prime once again. And remember, the Clippers, we talked about yesterday, they started off 6-1, and they went on an amazing run. And the Clippers had their 15th consecutive winning season, which is the longest active streak right now. This is the woe-begone Diego Clippers. And did nothing under Donald Sterling outside of late in his tenure with Lob City. But those 2 late season losses to Portland dropped LA to 9, which meant they had to win 2. Got the first one at home, and they lost. The Warriors will be playing Friday night in Portland, and it just shows that Steph Curry and Mo and Larry, timeless treasure and you never, ever count that guy out. All right, let's go to a break. We'll come back on Sports Pilot.
Like the legend of the phoenix, all ends with beginnings. Keeps the planet spinning. The force from the beginning.
Hello, Americans. It's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a free bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-943-9215. 800-943-9215. 800-943-9215. For the last time, that's 800-943-9215. Packages start at $29.99 a month with sign-up restrictions apply. Speak to a representative for complete offer. See Vivint.com for license details. Terms and conditions apply.
Homeowners, if you're looking for the best in home security and smart home technology at a price you can actually afford, we have great news. Now you can get Vivint's award-winning home security systems starting at about $1 a day. U.S. News & World Report has recognized Vivint as the best professionally installed home security system of 2022. And right now, you can get Vivint's home security technology for about $1 a day, plus get free professional installation from a licensed technician. Protect your home and loved ones for as low as $1 a day. Call right now for your free home security consultation.
800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. That's 800-918-6189.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-915-9654. 800-915-9654. 800-915-9654. That's 800-915-9654.
You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please.
Rick Tittle beat his servants.
Thank you for that. And welcome back. Thank you for that. Welcome back. And Gans coming up in the next segment. Rick Tittle with you, 1-800-878-PLAY. Congrats to the Sixers who won. Well, the only non-exciting of the 4 playing games, by the way. But, yeah, say what you will. They were very exciting. And remember, whoever wins when the Warriors go to tomorrow, they get to face Oklahoma City. Fun, fun, fun. But whoever wins will be red hot because we'll have won 2 in a row. So remember, Miami got to the finals that the bubble year when, or was it the year after? Anyway, they won their 2 playing games, and then look what happened there. All right. Every day with the World Cup, it's something more negative. Now, whether you love him or not, we have a very, 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 very negative person in the White House that will always talk about how much he hates this person or that person, and anyone he loves, if says one thing bad, then that person is a joke, and so very negative to foreigners, basically all foreigners, NATO. It doesn't matter. And so people are not going to feel welcome politically, but this is why it's on us as U.S. citizens to welcome everyone and say what a privilege it is to be co-hosts of this amazing event. I know that sounds Pollyannish, but I think most Americans are very friendly and welcoming, non-politicians. But every day, there's some negative thing about the World Cup. Not in Canada, not in Mexico, but in the USA. Of course, those 3 countries. Yesterday, and I kind of know where she's coming from, but the governor of New Jersey is named Mikey Sherrill. And she joined up with Chuck Schumer, of course, U.S. Senator, calling on FIFA to contribute towards security costs, transport costs. Now, MetLife Stadium, which I've been to, it's not easy to get to from New York City. You think it would be, but when it comes to transportation, nothing's easy in New York. Now then again, nothing easy is here either. It's just big cities. It's hard to get around. But you're literally crossing a body of water into a different state. And meadowlands are called that because they are meadowlands. It's a swamp. And so it's, I've driven through the tunnel. I've taken the train. It's not easy to get from New York City. And to imagine that everyone is staying in Secaucus or Elizabeth or New Jersey City is a misnomer. Most of them are going to be in Manhattan. And MetLife Stadium will host the 8 games, including the World Cup final. So the Athletic reported, this is why the governor was like, what? The Athletic reported days ago that NJ Transit is considering charging $100 for Penn State to the stadium. Now, I did that, Penn State to the stadium, and it was about $12. At the time, thinking, $12? I thought it'd be like $5, but $12 is nothing compared to 10 times more, or I guess 8 times more, whatever it is. But the parking at the Meadowlands is going to be completely restricted. It's not going to be like the NFL, and they have those lots that go way out and beyond other lots. So the governor, Mikey Sherrill of the Gardens, said, quote, "We inherited an agreement where FIFA is providing $0 for transportation in the World Cup. And while NJ Transit is stuck with a $48 million bill to safely get fans to and from games, FIFA is making $11 billion. I'm not going to stick New Jersey commuters with that tab for years to come. FIFA should pay for the rides. But if they don't, I'm not going to let New Jersey get tickets for one." So then she went on WNYC radio yesterday morning, and she said she would approve the fare increase if FIFA doesn't step in. She said, "I will, if that's what it takes, because I'm not putting the back of New Jerseyans." I didn't know they were called New Jersey, but it makes sense. In other words, if you want to go, fork out $100 because almost nobody from New Jersey is paying that money. It's all the fans from everywhere else. So on Wednesday, NJ Transit's board of directors unanimously approved a resolution to set transport prices to cover any and all costs to transport fines and to comply with the governor's Sherrill's directive. The of NJ Transit named Chris Kaluri said that he supported Cheryl's plea to FIFA and said that the commuters would not pay the extra costs. He said the governor said what the fare will be and it will not be cross-subsidized by our regular commuters. I think every NJ Transit commuter would stand behind that. It will cost us $48 million. We will charge FIFA fans for those tickets. It will be subsidized by our commuters. All right. Not a huge help, but it's just another thing. And I took the train from Newark Airport. Well, it's all part of NJ Transit. But as I mentioned, Chuck Schumer chimed in. And I'm sure when he said this, his glasses were right at the end of his nose. Said, FIFA is set to reap nearly $11 billion from this year's World Cup. And yet, New York area commuters and residents are being handed the bill. The least FIFA can do is ensure New York residents can go to the stadium without being gouged at the turnstile. I am demanding FIFA step up. So, New Jersey released this detailed plan for transit and parking during the matches. And remember, we heard yesterday no tailgating, and FIFA kind of bit back and said, we're not saying no tailgating. What they're saying was, if you want to just sit on your back bumper and have a hot dog, what they don't want is what we have at the Coliseum, where you'd have long, long stretches of tents and barbecues taking up tons of spots, even though they pay for those spots. So the host committee spokesperson in New York is named Natalie Hamilton, and she said, while rideshare and limited premium parking options will be available, the FIFA at NYNJ Stadium will be public transportation first event, largely relying on NJ Transit Rail and host committee bus shuttles. We are strongly encouraging all ticket holders to utilize expanded NJ Transit Rail service and the host committee stadium shuttle. A FIFA spokesman said, we are quite surprised by the NJ governor's approach on fan transportation. The Aregia World Cup 2020 host city signed agreements in 2018 required fee transportation for fans to all matches. Recognizing the financial strain this placed on host cities back in 2023, FIFA adjusted the host agreement deals. Moreover, FIFA has worked for years with host cities on their transportation and mobility plan, including advocated for millions of dollars federal funding to support host cities for transportation. Then it said, the FIFA World Cup brings millions of fans in North America with huge economic impact. FIFA is not aware of any other major event held at NYNJ Stadium, including other events, where the organizers were required to pay for all transportation. So, yeah, it's true. And by the way, in Qatar, all transportation was free. Fee-free. You're talking about a country saturated in oil and cash, and they just couldn't believe they actually got the host, so they go, it's free. And I understand at the last minute the governor's like, what? What did we agree to? And it's like, well, you did agree to it. The host committee agreed to it. I just know how horrifying parking was at the World Cup when it was at Stanford. And all I can, when I was thinking about the one game I do have a ticket to, I guess I'm not getting that credential. But the one game I have a ticket to, which is June 16th, it's Austria and Jordan, barn burner, Österreich. All I can think of is I probably will leave. I mean, what the minute the lot opened, and then I thought, no, I don't want to be stuck in the lot. And then I thought, well, what do I do? Do I do I stay in a hotel down there and then walk over? I'm like, no, that's too much. And all I can think of is, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive down to somewhere in Santa Clara, in a residential area, and then I'm probably going to Uber from there. And then after the game, I'll just worry about after the game. How I'll get back to my car, I don't know. Because it'll be just that a Niner game is a disaster. And I went there for the Copa America. It was a disaster. I went there for the Sharks outdoor game, which I worked. That was crazy. I went there for the national championship. It's a horrible stadium for parking, and I can only imagine. So anyway, New Jersey was like, what? And then FIFA's like, told you. All right, let's come back and talk to Andrew Gans.
I'm different, yeah, I'm different. I'm different, yeah, I'm different. I'm different, yeah, I'm different. Pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing. Pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing. Pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing. Pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing. Middle finger up to competition.
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. You know, life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
I wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that with Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you from Senior Care USA. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. That leaves your loved ones the burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay your family up to $30,000 to help pay for your funeral and other expenses. There are no medical exams. Your rates will never increase, and your plan cannot be canceled, regardless of your medical conditions, as long as you make your premium payments. Get up to $30,000 in final expense insurance. Call now for free information. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. That's 800-399-6879. Airline travelers, let's say you have a problem and you need to change or cancel an existing airline reservation. What do? Well, Skywatch is a free service that can help anyone with any airline reservation fix it. Whether you want to cancel your dates or add passengers, we can help fix your airline reservations so you get exactly what you need. We've updated our computer database and now have access to every airline around the globe. So now you can one call regardless of who booked your airline tickets, and we'll change it, cancel it, and fix it for you. We know the insider secrets to fixing reservations that the airlines don't want you to know about. So if you need to cancel, change, or modify an existing airline reservation, call Skywatch right now. It's a free call, so let us fix it for you. 855-325-5647. 855-325-5647. 855-325-5647. That's 855-325-5647.
My mom asked me to explain AI to her. Not hype, the real stuff. How to use it to prepare for a doctor's appointment or a meeting with a financial advisor. How to use it to spot a scam before it gets to her. I looked around and nobody had built anything like that for seniors. So I did. AIClassForSeniors.com. A plain language course built specifically for people 65 and older. No jargon, no tech background needed, just real answers. AIClassForSeniors.com.
I hope I don't see you for a while. Getting sick of you.
Take your sick ass in the hospital.
Tittle can usually be found at He Baby Mama House.
All right, thanks for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. If you ever been to Las Vegas over the last, 30 years, you've seen the billboards that were up for Danny Gans. He just was a Las Vegas staple, and the reason is because he was highly entertaining. Unfortunately, he died really before his time at only age 52. There's a new documentary about him called Voices, Danny Gans' story, and joining us right now to talk about that is his son, Andrew Gans. Andrew, welcome to the show, and I guess this film was a labor of love for you, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. The film was definitely a labor of love and a long process to get going, but I'm very grateful for the experience. It was transformative for me.
Now, what's interesting, which a lot of people don't know, was that when he was at Cal Poly, he was a pretty dang good college baseball player and actually got drafted by the White Sox. So, what was the pro baseball career like? Because obviously he didn't make it to he made it to the bigs the harder way. But what was his baseball time like?
Well, he was pretty gifted at baseball. I mean, from a very early age, that was what he wanted to do. That was a dream that I think his dad instilled in him, because his dad also played professional baseball and had a career-ending injury and then went into entertainment. And so my dad was more of a power hitter. He had a really strong arm. He played third base. And unfortunately, midway through his first season in the minor leagues, he had a career-ending injury where a runner coming down the first baseline stepped on his Achilles heel, and it severed his Achilles tendon, and that was the end for him. And we have a really interesting kind of generational curse, I guess, for the Gans men, because I said my grandfather played professional baseball. He got hurt, went into entertainment. My dad, you heard his story just now. He went on to be the Vegas icon, and I got drafted to play professional baseball out of high school. But I had a series of shoulder injuries, and after my third time tearing my labrum, that was the end of my career. And now I'm on my journey making films in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, and it's fitting that this film will be at the San Luis Obispo International Film Festival. So your dad, and it's funny because I always interviewing baseball players over the years, I always find that a lot of them are, like stand-up comedians, because all those bus rides, all the stories, and it's a self-deprecating humor. Baseball, 7 times out of 10, you're going to make an out if you're lucky, and 8 times out of 10, your career's over. So there's a gallows humor about baseball players. When did your dad know that he could do all these voices and then got that cherry role playing Dean Martin in that TV series?
Yeah, he started entertaining at an early age. I mean, I think his dad and his mom they were both in the entertainment industry, and they just kind of surrounded themselves with music and that kind of thing. And my dad would just do that in order to make his dad laugh and kind of lighten the mood, and that just carried forward into baseball. And you're right, like he was the kind of guy that would stand up on a bus after a doubleheader or a tough road trip, and he would perform and keep the guys loose. Or if they had a big game coming up, he'd get up there and crack a few jokes, do some voices, and it was always just something that he did for fun as a hobby. And then after his injury, he had no idea what to do, but he just decided, I'm going to pivot, and I'm going to give this comedy and this singing and the impressions a try. And he put all that hard work and dedication he had towards baseball into this path. And I think the work ethic that he developed from athletics really helped him achieve the level that he got to in entertainment.
Well, what's insane is, people toil and work for years and decades before they make it. But your dad does a Broadway show, one-man show. The next year, they take him to the Stratosphere in Vegas. A couple years later, he goes to the Rio. A couple years later, the Mirage is building a theater for him. This is all in 5 years. Was he surprised at this meteoric rise?
I think he felt very grateful. I think he knew that it was a very special thing and that it was rare. And I think he saw a lot of acts come into Vegas and leave very quickly. And he just ingrained in himself this belief that he had to maintain this operating at the highest level possible, giving 100% every show. incorporating new acts. And I think he put a lot of pressure on himself. And I think when you're at the top and you're rising that fast, people are just looking for ways for you to fall. And I think that kind of wore on him eventually, but he was aware of how special that was. And I think the years that he spent in corporate entertainment, going around traveling 225 days a year, doing all these functions and different events for big corporations, that led to Broadway. But I think those years were really where he honed and perfected his craft. And it was like the kind of the practice ground, as you'd say.
I remember being in Vegas in 2002, I believe, for NAB. It's a broadcasters convention. And on the Strip, there was a marquee of your dad's face. It was the biggest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, where, do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Where's that now?
So that was the marquee out in front of the Mirage, which was the biggest marquee on the Strip, and I think it was the biggest in the world, or at least in the United States. And he shared that for a short period of time with Siegfried and Roy. Siegfried and Roy were on one side, and my dad was on the other side. And then when they retired, it was my dad on both sides of this enormous billboard that you couldn't miss. If you're driving down Las Vegas Boulevard, it's like in your face, no matter what direction you're going. And that was just iconic. Like, you see it in a lot of Vegas films that were.
Yeah, are you still there? Did we lose Andrew? I think Andrew went through a tunnel. Maybe we can try and get him back, Bailey. Yeah, I had never heard. Do we have Andrew? Are you back?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. I think my studio went through a tunnel there. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so just the talent, all the different impressions and everything he did, and it's amazing how he had audiences eating out of his hands, and people never got tired of it. He never, had a year or two flash in the pan, and even that would have been amazing to have a year or two residency. What was it about him that he kept it fresh and he kept people coming back instead of saying, "Oh, I already saw Danny Gans"? They're like, "No, I got to go back."
I think he knew that in order to stay on top in a town like Las Vegas that is so demanding and is built on repeat customers, he knew that he had to evolve and continue to develop his show. But one of the things that really I feel like set him apart that doesn't get talked about, which I hope my film will kind of reveal to people, is that he was meticulous about the way he structured his show. Every beat, every moment was planned, and it had a reason for it to be there. He wanted to start the show really high energy. He wanted to grab your attention immediately and then take you down a little bit for a breather and do something like Frank Sinatra or Dean Martin, and then bring you back up again into the music of the 60s and 70s, and then bring you down for a couple minutes and, talk to the audience and get to know you better and those types of things. And it felt like you were on a journey and you were being told this story through music and impressions, and you got a sense of who Danny Gans was. And I think people really responded to that rather than going to a show and just, being wowed by magic. You really felt like it was a personal story, a personal experience seeing this show. And then again, it did change quite frequently. He would have probably 4 hours worth of material that he would interchange into a 90-minute show. And he would have specific beats 10 minutes in, 30 minutes in, where if the audience was responding really well to X, Y, or Z, he would signal to the band, okay, we're gonna segue into this material instead of this other material that we initially thought of. And he would have 3 or 4 of those beats in the show where he could switch, and he could really read the audience quite well.
Last question for you. What was, and maybe it's the same one when you were a little kid that when you got older, but what was your favorite impression or two? Like, maybe around the dinner table, you'd be like, Dad, I know you're not at work, but can you just give me a little of that?
That's a good question. And for me, it's more of a personal thing because I've gotten to know my dad's journey so well over the last few years making this film. And what really clicked for him after his baseball injury is when his dad took him to go see Sammy Davis Jr. perform.
Mm-hmm.
And he watched Sammy Davis do singing and comedy, and he did little voices, and he danced, and he did all of this variety entertainment, and that was the light bulb moment for my dad. And he said, that is what I want to do. I can do that. And that really started the path for him. So when my dad performed Sammy Davis Jr. in his show singing Bojangles, it was such a poignant and nostalgic moment because you could really sense how much it meant to him every single night. It was one of those impressions that he just did straight. There was no comedy. It's a very powerful moment, and when I think of my dad performing, I always, in my mind, I always see him doing that.
That's very cool. Thanks for sharing it with us. The film is called Voices, the Danny Gans story, as I mentioned, down at the San Luis Obispo International Film Festival, Saturday, the 25th of this month, 1:45 p.m. at the Downtown Center Cinemas. The next day, Sunday the 26th at 4:30 p.m. at the Palm Theater. And then Monday the 27th, a matinee showing, 10:45 a.m. also at the Palm Theater down in SLO. We've been speaking with Andrew Gans. Andrew, congratulations on the film. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, I'm Rick Tittle. Let's take to a break and get on back.
Do you have a book? Get it out of your mind and make it a real book with a free guide to book publishing. Trying to publish a book yourself can be complicated. It takes a lot of time that you could spend writing your book or even more books. Do what you do best. We can do the rest. Thousands of authors across the nation have trusted our book publishing service. We have the connections to help you get your book printed, distributed, and sold on Amazon, Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, and bookstores nationwide. We can do it faster than you can on your own. Get your free guide to publishing. It's a free phone call. Remember, make this free call right now and learn how to turn your book into something real that people can buy. Get your free writer's guide. Call right now, 800-482-8399, 800-482-8399, 800-482-8399. That's 800-482-8399.
If you're serious about investing in gold or silver, Allegiance Gold will give you an additional $5,000 in free gold to add to your portfolio. They can help you buy any amount of gold or silver, even roll over your current IRA into gold. They've helped thousands invest millions in gold over the years, with prices that are some of the best in the industry, with fees that are fair, reasonable, and transparent. Protect your wealth with gold. Save on your gold or silver pricing when you buy from the top-rated Allegiance Gold. Invest in gold or silver today by calling Allegiance for your free gold guide. And learn about the $5,000 free gold offer with qualified purchase. Call now.
800-413-1937. 800-413-1937. 800-413-1937. That's 800-413-1937.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. That's 800-690-8223.
What you gonna do with all that junk inside my trunk? My hump, my lovely lady hump.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means. It's provocative.
No, it's not. It's
Gets
gross.
the people going.
Rick Tittle's got a black belt in keeping it real.
I've seen some cool names over the last few years. Nothing I think will ever beat A Million Bugs, college basketball player. Last name, Buggs. First name, altogether, A Million. His name was A Million Bugs. And over the years, Majestic and Scientific Map, the brothers. Dude Person is another one that I love. But I bring it up because I saw a great name on the Costa Rican women's national soccer team, Priscilla Chinchilla. Now, I'm sure it's Priscilla Chinchilla, so it's not as awesome. I mean, it sounds better in Spanish, but it's not as lyrical. Priscilla Chinchilla definitely sounds like a show on Nickelodeon or something, or maybe one of the friends of Winnie the Pooh. You know, there's Eeyore and Piglet and Priscilla Chinchilla. When I was a kid, we'd buy these comic books. This was when Texas was the largest of our 48 states. I was worried about what was going to happen to the Kaiser in exile. No. It was a long time ago, but our comic books in the back, it would say, raise chinchillas for fun and profit. And I used to think, because they were so cute and sweet and babyish and little, and my friend's like, no, the profit is they skin them for the fur. And I went, oh, that doesn't sound very fun. Raise chinchillas for fun. This show brought to you by Priscilla Chinchilla. We got 2 more hours. Get on back on Sports Byline.
I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning. And producer Dom, please alert the affiliates we're going long today, because I'm going to do my best in about 4 minutes or so to tell you about former heavyweight champion of the world Ken Norton, because I doubt the kids today know what kind of Renaissance badass Ken Norton was. They likely don't even know how awesome his son Ken Norton Jr. was in the NFL, because he retired 25 years ago. But I digress. Born August 9th, 1943 in Springfield, Illinois, Norton was a natural all-around athlete as a youth. During his high school years, he was so good in track and field, winning 7 of 8 state competitions one year, that the state of Illinois instituted what would become known as the Ken Norton Rule, limiting how many events one student could enter. Norton went to Northeast Missouri State University on a football scholarship, and after graduation he joined the Marines. And it was while serving where Norton picked up the boxing game, becoming the best boxer the U.S. Armed Forces ever produced. He won 3 Marine heavyweight titles and became an international amateur champion. In 1967, Norton turned pro and immediately racked up a 16-0 record with 15 by KO. He was touted for a fight against Muhammad Ali, but a shocking KO loss put a hold on Norton's dreams. It would take another 13 victories before Norton would get his chance with Ali, and he'd make the most of it. On March 31st, 1973 in San Diego, Norton unleashed his unorthodox crab stance on an underprepared Ali. Brought to him by legendary trainer Eddie Futch, Norton blocked Ali's jabs by crossing his arms and then firing back from a low trajectory, badly breaking Ali's jaw in the process, en route to winning a 12-round split decision. A rematch was held on September 10th, 1973 at the Forum in Inglewood, California. Famously, or maybe more infamously, Ali won a close 12-round split decision that judges, media members, and fans just couldn't agree on. Ali didn't want anything to do with Norton anymore and moved towards a rematch against Joe Frazier. That left Norton with the opportunity to face the heavyweight champion of the world, George Foreman. The two monsters met on March 26, 1974 in Caracas, Venezuela, and with Ali at ringside egging him on, Foreman, who was in the heights of his scary era, knocked Norton out 2 minutes into the second round. A story for another day, both men were shaken down by cops before they were allowed to leave the country. Norton regrouped quickly and went 7-0 with 7 more KOs, including a 1975 battering of Jerry Corey at Madison Square Garden. Also in 1975, Norton, whose nickname was Black Hercules for his incredible physique, made his acting debut in the big-budget exploitation film Mandingo, kicking off a long career on both the big screen and television. On September 18, 1976, Norton fought a third fight with Ali at Yankee Stadium, and many who watched, including Ali, thought Norton had won, but Ali was given the unanimous decision. A seething Norton would return 8 months later and knock out the unbeaten Dwayne Bobbitt in 58 seconds. One fight later, Norton would win a split decision over Jimmy Young and later be named by the World Boxing Council as its heavyweight champion of the world after title holder Leon Spinks chose a rematch with Ali over fighting Norton. Norton's time with the title was short, losing it 7 months later to Larry Holmes by way of another split decision in a fight whose 15th round is one of the greatest in heavyweight history. Norton went 1-2-1 in his final 4 fights, including infamous tilts against Scott Ledoux and Jerry Cooney, the latter being Norton's final fight on May 19, 1981. In addition to his acting roles, Norton used his voice to not only commentate on boxing, but he also became a member of the Sports Illustrated Speakers Bureau, where he traveled to make appearances and give speeches. In 1985, Norton helped begin a sports agency to represent athletes and signed superstar Los Angeles Rams running back Eric Dickerson. But in 1986, Norton was involved in a serious single-car accident on the Santa Monica Freeway. He suffered a fractured skull, jaw, ribs, and leg, as well as other assorted injuries, and while he was never fully mobile again or able to speak like he once had, Norton was able to get back into the public eye. A series of strokes later in life further debilitated Norton, and sadly he passed away on September 18, 2013. In a time where there are few American athletes of any size looking to be involved in boxing, I love jumping onto YouTube and other places to remember and celebrate these great fighters. And Ken Norton was one of those men. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network, 5-Minute Warning.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busywork. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Tittle knows his sports.
I hate that guy.
I love that guy.
Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, and then he eats it.
Ricky T in the hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
Oh, hey, welcome back to the show. So yesterday my Sharks lost in Chicago to close out the season, and yeah, on the stretch, they good showing of themselves. There's no doubt. But on the other hand, it was a little disappointing because it kind of looked like maybe they would make the playoffs. But if you think about how bad they've been the last 5 years, and this is the thing, you have to take advantage of your first round picks. I mean, think about when the Giants won 3 World Series in 5 years. Lincecum, first round pick. Bumgarner, first round pick. Posey, first round pick. They hit on those 3 guys, and they were the basis of that team. Think about the Warriors, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, second round pick, Draymond Green, hitting on picks. The A's right now, Kurtz, Wilson, Soderstrom, Cusack, the best player on the Giants, A's first round pick. Or I should say Susac. But the Sharks with Eki and Will Smith and Mack hitting on those, especially Celebrini, and then Misa, who contributed this year as well. And so they gave the Sharks, and by the way, yes, we're playing in Winnipeg tonight. I forgot. We got one more game. But we're eliminated, officially eliminated. But if you think about, the Sharks are going to have a winning record because they're 38 wins and 35 losses and 8 overtime wins. That's 84 points, and you just think about some of these other teams that really spend a lot of money. And I mean, look at the New York Rangers. Look where they're at. Look at Toronto. Look at the champs, Florida. So I'm proud of the Sharks. I wish they made the playoffs, but I am proud of them. All right, get on back, everybody.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. They can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Right now, you can switch from cable television to satellite television for free. That's right, we're offering free equipment, free installation, plus get a free $100 prepaid Visa card. Call the Satellite TV hotline right now. Make the switch from cable to satellite television and expand your viewing horizon. On top of free installation, for a limited time, we're offering a fixed price guarantee. With satellite TV, you'll save money over your expensive cable bill. Plus, get access to hundreds of channels. And when you call right now, you can also ask about our seniors and military discounts. So make the switch to satellite TV right now. Everybody gets free installation, free equipment, plus a $100 prepaid Visa card. Call right now and you can switch to satellite TV and be watching everything you wanted to within the next week. And remember, installation's free. So call right now. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
Hour 2 of Titillating Sports. You thought it couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports. Yes, couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk. Yes. Hour 2 of Titillating Sports.
Hey, check out Tittle now. Check out Rick Tittle.
All right, always to check in with our friend Omar Vizquel, one of the greatest defensive of all time. You could argue the best defensive shortstop in the history of baseball. And we'll talk baseball with Omar. But, Omar, welcome back to the show. I know in your native Venezuela, you had a really cool exhibition game in the capital, Caracas, and a lot of great Latin players, David Ortiz, Carlos Baegra, Maglio Ordonez, Wilson Alvarez, Andy Chavez, Roger Cedeno, Jose Reyes, Robbie Cano, all these stars. Tell us a little bit more about how that all got together, please.
Hello, guys. A pleasure to talk to you. We get back here in Venezuela to do like a reunion party on baseball, since baseball is very hot still here in Venezuela. Everybody celebrating the win of the Venezuelan team over the U.S. And, there is a lot of, I would say, fever for baseball. The Major League start and everything continue to roll in, and pretty soon, in a couple of weeks or next week, the Liga Mayor, which is a summer league that goes on here in Venezuela, starts in Maracay. And so there is a lot of things happening here in baseball. Obviously, this event was put together by a group that invite a bunch of professional baseball players, ex-players, of course. We put a show for the fans. Over 20,000 people came over to the Monumental Stadium, the big stadium that was built here in Venezuela for the baseball league. And I think everybody enjoyed it. Especially see the expression of the guys that came from the outside, like David Ortiz and Baerga and Cano and Jose Reyes. They couldn't believe that a ballpark on that huge and that big is here, and they're really surprised. The game went really good. We played 6 innings in a different format. It was kind of like an event where 6 players hit per inning, and there were like little things that goes on, like there is a roulette that you roll, and you have to hit like with the bases loaded, and players would change teams, and it was a different format. Something like the banana guys do in Savannah. So it was a show for the fans, and I think people really enjoyed it. There was a lot of good comments about the game, and I think the kids really came over to with a different expectation. But they in the middle of the game, I think they got the whole of it. It was kind of like a party for everybody to celebrate. And the most important thing is that we enjoy each other's company. And I haven't seen these guys for a while, for 3-4 years, and it was really good to reunite everybody here in Caracas.
As much as I hated seeing the U.S. lose, if we were going to lose, I'm glad it was to a country like Venezuela, and seeing all the players singing Glorial, Bravo, Pueblo. I mean, what did that mean to Venezuela, the country, and like are they still partying today?
Yeah, it means a lot. Baseball is the best sport here in Venezuela. Everybody dreams to be a baseball player. We breathe baseball. Baseball is like on our blood, in our DNA. And the fact that the team did what they did, I don't know if the expectations for Venezuela for all the countries were high. I mean, we're talking about U.S., Japan, another final for those teams. But Venezuela did everything right. They hit under pressure. The pitching was amazing. The defense was amazing. They only made one error in the whole series. So it was a good baseball all around. And to see the quality of baseball that they play against U.S. and Japan was amazing.
All right, great. Now I want to ask you a little bit about the San Francisco Giants, your former team. Not off to a great start. Nobody's hitting outside of Luis Arias. But I wanted to ask you the other day, Matt Chapman was at third, and he's won many Gold Gloves and a Platinum Glove, and he threw a ball over to Casey Schmidt, who stretched too early. The ball went over his. Then on the mat during a visit, you could see him catch the effing ball twice, and then Chapman went on to make 4 errors in the next 2 games. As much as you might make a throw and then the first baseman drops it, you can't show up your player like that in public. Like, how did you handle those things when you had maybe a first baseman that was not, maybe making you look bad, if that's possible?
Well, things are going well for a baseball team. This kind of situation never happened. I know they're not playing the best game right now, and everything got to be pointed out. They play under a little bit of pressure right now, and I think that shows up in the field. There is for a leader to come up and bring everybody together. Hey, this is only 2 weeks of the season. We're not going to kick out because of 2 weeks of the season. We got a good team, the players, and we're not going to worry about this. And this is where the leadership kind of step up to a different level. I think guys are going to forget about this, and they got to learn from these errors. And it's better to have these errors in the beginning of the season when you have plenty of time to work things out. They have good players there and good people that can bring this thing together. So there is no doubt they're going to play better baseball. But showing up somebody on the field like that, that's not good.
You had so many amazing double plays, and I remember one time at McCovey Cove where you faked one way, turned the other, through to third. Was it the kind of thing where you can't think about it because you don't have enough time? It's just fielding came instinctually to you like that?
Well, when there is a play like that, yes, I did talk to the third baseman and told him the whole thing before it happened because it was a fast ball. I think it was Kenny Lofton hitting for the Dodgers on that opportunity. I knew it was going to be a pretty tough play in first base, so I turned around and went to third. And if you don't let the third baseman know that play was going to be, I don't think that you can make that kind of play. But obviously, there are some plays that you use your instincts, like, for example, bare hand plays, when you go through the holes or where somebody's fast that you have to kind of hurry and you don't have time to think too much. Then you have to come to plan B and use your abilities to try the play and to get the double play done. So, that's part of your preparation for the game and who's playing, how many outs, how many runs are you ahead, behind. And, you play these things in your mind, and when it happens, you already have an idea what to do with the ball.
Very more question for you, Omar. I welcome the ABS, and it's supposed to help the umpires, and I know a couple of them like CB Buckner got 8 wrong in a game, but I think it's good because I think after over 100 years, players and fans they were sick of obvious balls being called strikes and vice versa. And umpires are human; they make mistakes, they hold grudges or vendettas. But some purists don't like ABS. What do you feel about ABS so far?
Well, I don't think it's really sink on me yet. I'm looking at these some of the umpires missing some pitches, and they go back and they turn the pitch around. And for some of these hitters, it's great because they get another opportunity to hit the ball And I think it's good for the game that a hitter got another chance because an umpire blew the call. But I think those appreciation calls that we call it is part of the game. If an umpire don't like a guy, maybe he go against that and he calls some pitches, and that's how you start creating some kind of an enmity between the umpire and yourself. And I like it that way. And this ABS kind of it gives the opportunity for you not to get that mad at the umpire, and the umpire doesn't have to have it on you and give you a bad call because he doesn't like you. So, I think that is the only advantage. The hitters are going to get more hits. The pitchers sometimes are going to get some pitches. And, as far as baseball evolution, I think it's one of those things that people is kind of biting into it slowly. But, for me, it's hard to sink in.
All right, Omar Vizquel, one of the greats. Always love talking baseball with you, Omar. Appreciate it, and let's catch up soon.
All right, man. Thank you very much. Let's go, Gans.
All right, good stuff. All right, we're going to bring in Carmine Marino from Pro Wagering next, and we're going to talk about the Run for the Roses. Come on back on Byline.
I've got a question for you. Do you want a lower car payment just by making a phone call? Most people buy a car and they pay whatever the car dealer says their interest rate is, and they forget about it and make payments. But did you know there is a secret in your contract that allows another company to refinance any car payment to try and lower it? It's true. There is indeed a company out there that knows the ins and, more importantly, the outs on car loans, and they know how to lower your current car payments. It's easy and fast, and you could have a lower car payment next month. Make this free call right now and find out if you could lower your existing car payment. Call the Car Savings Hotline right now. The call is free.
Call now. 800-605-1680. 800-605-1680. 800-605-1680. That's 800-605-1680.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-915-9654. 800-915-9654. 800-915-9654. That's 800-915-9654.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having your credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
Just go ask your mama.
Okay, that's it.
Hey, your mama is in here.
Tittle's got a black belt in keeping it real.
All right, thank you for that. And we got a little Thursday treat. We got Carmine Marino, the man who knows the ponies from Pro Wagering, the professional. He's here with us. And, of course, the Run for the Roses getting underway on May 2nd. Carmine, welcome back to the show. Let's go to Santa Anita for the Oaklawn Handicapped. And there are some heavyweights. We got Sovereignty back. We got Journalism. We got White Barrio. This is a big race, isn't it?
Well, you know what's great about this? My favorite horse is racing. I mean, you got Sovereignty making his comeback. Journalism has been training out of its mind in California. I mean, this is everybody's favorite in California. Every time he races against Sovereignty, they say, "Oh, this is the time he's going to beat him." And every time we say that, he gets his butt whipped. Sovereignty's been off since last August. Journalism ran in the Breeders' Cup and got beat, ran a solid fourth. And then, but there's just, and White Barrio is White Barrio. But in this particular race, there's not a lot of speed. I mean, the two may have a little tactical speed to go to the front. And then there's the 6, Publisher. This is a horse that a lot of people thought was going to be much better. Now imagine this. This horse ran the Derby last year and did nothing. This horse was a maiden coming into this year, made $440,000 without winning a race last year. And as a 4-year-old is 3 for 3 and has won all 3 races over this track, a muddy track, a sloppy track, and a fast track. The question is, will he get the mile and an eighth? And the question is, will he be on the front end, which I believe Publisher needs to be first or second to have a shot. If there's going to be a horse that can stun the field, it could be this horse who's raced over Oaklawn 8 times, 3 firsts and 3 seconds. As far as Sovereignty and Journalism and White Barrio, they've never had a race over the surface, and Oaklawn is a unique track. You usually want to have a race or two over that track to really adjust. This could be the one race where Sovereignty and Journalism are a little bit short. White Barrio did run in January. But I'm not going to bet this race because I think Sovereignty is the horse to beat. And I think Sovereignty is going to give you a show. This is going to be a race everybody should watch because it's an outstanding race.
Yeah, it sounds like my college experience because you have journalism and liberal arts.
Right. and the liberal arts this year will fail.
Yeah.
But the journalism will pass with flying colors. You know, when was the last time you saw a race where you had a horse that earned $7 million in his career, one earning $5.8 million, and another one earning $4.3 million, all competing against each other?
Well, this is, I heard, like the first time this race has ever had 3 Grade 1 winners all at the same time.
Right. I mean, this is their race. This is their feature race of the entire season for Oaklawn. They close just before the Kentucky Derby, and honestly, this is a race. This is a horse racing dream. Oaklawn is really becoming a major track. They're getting good crowds. 73,000 a couple of weeks ago. I wouldn't be surprised if they had 70,000 people out there for this race. How big this race is. And Sovereignty has raced 9 times. No worse than second 8 times. 6 wins in 2 seconds. I think Sovereignty is a generational horse. He's my favorite horse since Barbaro. And of course, we know what happened to Barbaro. I think this is a monster. I really love this horse. I love this horse.
Well, as a 3-year-old, of course, last year winning the Derby and the Belmont. Now, I saw that they're going to be moving the Preakness backs beginning next year to an extra week off to avoid things like people holding horses out, literally hold your horses. Do you think that's a good thing?
No, not at all. I think it's terrible. I think you know what the problem is? This organization called HISA is really destroying the sport. What they've been doing is scratching horses that they shouldn't scratch. Last year's Breeders' Cup, you had a lot of Europeans come here to race that were last-second scratches, which is really bad for the sport. The thing I can say is White Barrio last year with racing the Breeders' Cup was in great shape. They did the same thing to him. You know, a lot of these horses really need to race. They're a lot tougher than you think, and they mollycoddle the horses because of PETA. Oh my God, The horse took a bad step. Well, it happens. It does happen. In California, they no longer run on wet tracks, which is ridiculous. But I got to tell you something. When you look at, like, for example, when you look at Publisher, his first 2 starts this year, muddy and then sloppy. They wouldn't have ran those races. Okay? And then Journalism ran in the Kentucky Derby on a sloppy track, as did Sovereignty. They would not have raced a Kentucky Derby in California that day. When you look at White Barrio running in the Met Mile last year, it was a sloppy racetrack. So on the East Coast, Midwest, they run on sloppy tracks. But in the West Coast, oh no, we can't do that. That's not fair to the horse. Come on, man. That's what makes horse racing work. Remember the Abbott and Costello show where he's a mutter. He's a mutter. Oh yeah, what about the fodder? I mean, it's all about it. That's what makes the sport interesting. And when you look at the handicapping sheets, Liberal Arts, for example, has raced four times on a wet track, winning 3 out of 4 times. So if this track became wet, all of a sudden you can look at a horse like Liberal Arts. Sovereignty's raced on a wet track twice, 2 for 2. And these are the kind of things that make handicapping so much fun to watch. Nitrogen last year was considered more of a turf horse. She's now a dirt horse. She ran on a wet track last year, a sloppy track, and devoured the field. And next thing you know, she's in the dirt. And right now she's a little bit under par by comparison to last year. But again, when you're looking at this sport, it's a great sport, and they're ruining it because they're being stupid about things.
Well, the other thing, I mean, look, it is shocking and terrible when you see a horse put down right in front of you, and I've seen it, you've seen it, but I think what a lot of people don't realize is that these horses live better than you and I do.
Think about this. Have you ever seen a great sire, how they treat that horse? Yeah. You ever go to I mean, they're quarters. You and I could live in there. I mean, think about this. You eat the finest foods. They're bringing the finest fillies and mares, and you're having fun every day of your life. I mean, life is good. And you're getting bathed and clean, and they coddle you for the next 15, 20 years, which in horse language, that's a long time.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt.
And then Secretariat, he used to pose for the pictures. Secretariat was like a god. I'm sorry. Enough with that. I understand some people's feelings about from the stable to the table and to some of the cheaper tracks. I get it. But horse racing is a fabulous sport. And the NBA is talking about shortening the schedule. Why? 65 games? Seriously? With the money you're paying these professionals, they can't play an extra 17 games? It's ridiculous.
Well, the good news is NFL is going to go to 18, so that's good. Well, one thing before I let you go, I just have about a minute, but apparently it was yesterday that Sovereignty was just running around at Oaklawn getting a feel for it and drew a huge crowd. There's not many horses that draw a huge crowd just to, gallop around for fun.
Right. That's the beauty of this sport. People get out there 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning to watch great horses jump. I mean, think about that. That's unreal. Secretary used to draw crowds. But when he retired, the crowd was at New York. I think it was Aqueduct. It was unbelievable. That's what people want to do. They love champions. They want to admire greatness.
By the way,
let's do it more often.
Did I tell you at Radio Row Super Bowl week, there was this auction house that went by, and I got to take a picture holding it. Secretariat's saddle.
That's unbelievable. Wouldn't that be cool? That's awesome. You did that?
Yeah, I held it. It's just a little flat piece of leather. It's crazy what these jockeys ride on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting?
Yeah.
The jockey Turcotte rode him and rode River Ridge the year before, and then ended the last 45 years of his life paralyzed. Wow. I mean, what about the jockeys? Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. But you lived the life. I wish I was with you at the second. I would have loved to hang out with you on Super Bowl roll there, buddy.
Yeah, it's mayhem. I wouldn't want to do it every week, but it was, it's an embarrassment of riches. You got, I think Patrick Willis is going to sit down with me. No, it's Andre Reed. Go. You just got to roll with it, but it's a lot of fun. As always, talking with you, Carmine Marino from Pro Wagering as we get closer to the Run for the Roses. Thanks for your time, man.
You got it. Have a great week.
All right, I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back with Bruce Deel and Nick Nanton right on Sports Byline.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case, Skyrizi Risankizumab Risa can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic. Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infection, or ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Ask your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease. Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. America we need right now. American Premium Vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busy work. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call, or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
What would you say to do here?
Well, look, I already told you. I deal with the customers so the engineers don't have to. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
I'm waiting for the chance.
Rick Tittle will fight anyone listening to this.
Thank you, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on American Forces Radio Network. There's a very interesting documentary coming out tomorrow on Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV, and Documentary Plus. And it is called The Greatest of These. And we are now joined on the line by the director of the film, the award-winning filmmaker Nick Nanton, and the subject of the film, Bruce Deel. Bruce Deel is a pastor who put his family into a rough area of Atlanta to help out people who were most in need. And he took his preachings and his help to that area. His church, by the way, is called City of Refuge. Bruce, welcome to the show. Let's start with you. When Nick and the filmmakers came to you about this, were you a little bit reticent about peeling back the curtain, or did you think getting the word out could only help?
We were reticent. We've been approached by half a dozen other filmmakers over the past few years about telling our story, and we didn't want to subject those that go through our journey together with us to be exploited again, or for their story to be told with less dignity or integrity than we thought it should be. So we said no to a number of filmmakers, and then when Nick came along and we looked at his resume, knew he did great work. He also aligns with our position, so we felt like it might be a good time to let that story go to a larger audience.
Nick, welcome to the show. On the surface of things, you can see with your own eyes the changes in people's lives Bruce and his congregation were making. But once you really did the deep dive, what were some of the things that surprised you about it?
There's so many things that I wasn't prepared for. I mean, I've seen, I've worked with people who have been incarcerated. I've seen people on the streets. I've seen so many, but the way Bruce and his team, just approach people with compassion, and the response the response you get when you approach the way Bruce does, and obviously their team is experts at doing it, but it's just, I think I expected a lot more, just a lot more fighting and things like that. But when Bruce's team approaches with love, that's what they would get back.
And Bruce, there's nothing wrong with priests, ministers, pastors, rabbis, whatever, who want to be in a nice neighborhood with, well-off, middle class, rich, whatever. There's nothing wrong with preaching the word there, but you went where people really needed it the most. What was it about that taking the boots by the, taking the bull by the horns, that you were like, no, I'm going into the trenches here?
Yeah, well, it was a little bit of an accidental journey, Rick. I actually went downtown in Atlanta on a 6-month consultant assignment to close a little church. And during those first 6 months, we just kept running into people in crisis, those coming out of addiction or trafficking, or had just been released from 30 years of incarceration, didn't know how to readjust. And so it was sort of just providential. We started to develop relationships with these folks at really tough places in life. And my 5 daughters, we just felt comfortable there. We felt more comfortable there, frankly, than we had felt in the suburbs and the other environments. To your point, it is fine to do good work in those environments, and we had done that for 10 years of ministry, but now just sort of just ignited a flame and a passion in us that this is where we wanted to be.
Bruce, I should say, Nick, how did you go about shooting this? Because I'm sure there are a lot of people who are like, don't point the camera at me right now. They're rock bottom. And so how did you kind of get around that, saying this isn't to exploit you, this is to help you?
Yeah, certainly in that neighborhood, we didn't use the term shooting, I'll tell you that. But also, I followed Bruce. Actually, we didn't have anyone tell us that one time. When Bruce approached everyone with love and compassion, like he always does, wanted to make sure that they were willing to share their story, because one of the things we both is really more than anything is treating people like human beings and not dehumanizing them. And so it was actually super easy. I think Bruce was really surprised at some of the people who he had been really protecting for a long time, how willing they were to share their story. And I think he would tell you he wasn't sure they were going to be ready, but how raw and authentically they shared their story with us. And again, I'm not there to do anything other than share someone's story. I'm not there to sensationalize it. I'm there to sanitize it. So again, I think just one of the big lessons is the way you treat others, the way you're going to get treated back. So we had literally no one tell us not to film at all.
Bruce, I got a little glimpse of this when I was working on the Raiders radio team. I was asked in Oakland, a place called the House of Hope, and they asked if I would come down and give a talk. And some of the people that were living there had stories where they talked not 1-2 chances, but they would get chances. And whoever took them in, one guy said the Catholic Church took him in. He stole the priest's car. Then his brother took him in. He stole all his money. 3, 4 times, 5 times in prison. Every time someone gave him a chance, he would backstab them. And yet this place took them in. And it took maybe 10 times for them to finally realize, I can't treat people like that anymore. I have dignity. And I give them a lot of credit because they were all guys. I would never give them another chance. They didn't deserve it. So how do you get to the point spiritually where you're like, no, they do deserve it?
Well, I don't think any of us necessarily deserve opportunities, right? It's just all of us are born with opportunities, and if we don't take advantage of those opportunities, then we don't necessarily deserve. But from a perspective, the story in Scripture where they said, how often should I forgive my brother? 7 times. And Jesus says, no, 7 times 7, right? Basically, indefinitely. And so for us, it's not just about that 10th chance, Rick. A lot of times for our individuals, it's about their first chance. We're born into poverty. They didn't have good role models in their life. They live in environments that are crime infested. They live in environments where the educational opportunities are less than they should be, and so they never really had a chance. So for us, a lot of times we look at it like this is their first chance. If it has to be the 10th chance, we'll give that a shot as well. Try to just have a blank slate when people come in so that we're not saying, hey, you've already screwed up this many times. We're going to give you one more chance. We try to say, hey, let's just start fresh today and see what we can accomplish together.
And just as a follow-up that to Bruce, because there are a lot of people who think, well, give them a break. They had a horrific childhood. They were sexually molested. They were living on the streets. But at a certain point, you'd say, look, you're a grown-up now. You know right from wrong. You got to quit leaning on that, oh, I had a hard childhood thing. And do you ever have to get the tough love?
Oh, hundreds of times over the last 29 years. Yeah, so we're all about grace and love, care for you, but at some point accountability has to come to play in all of our lives. So absolutely, we've had to say, hey, we've run our course with you, and if you decide to change your mind about how you're going to live life in the future, come see us, but right now you're not a good match for us.
Nick, did you see anyone, this is a personal question, but you're not a fan of the cloth. You're like the rest of us. So did you see some guys down there where you were like, that guy is hopeless and they should give up on that guy?
No, actually, I didn't. Again, I think look, when you put someone in an environment that is intended to care for them and to make them feel a certain way, if you walk into a church, for instance, you just mentioned church, most people aren't going to hoot and holler because of the way the church is built, the way the people are treating them. If you walk into a sports arena, you're probably not going to act like you would in a church. And so they've built this community where when you walk in, the very first thing you feel is accepted and loved. And Bruce has an incredible book called Trust First, which I think is life changing. The idea of the way Bruce approaches people is I'm going to trust you. I'm going to give you everything you need first to prove to me that you don't deserve it. And I think a lot of people in the places that he's dealing with them, so much dignity has been removed from them that they got to earn every bit of when they get treated that way. And one of the guys says in the movie, Bruce looked at me and said, that past, what's next? He says, the first person in my life who didn't really care about my past, they want to know what my future was, and I never really thought about that. And so there's an environment where I think everyone just sort of feeds off each other and sees that there is hope here if you take care of yourself and take care of each other. Of course, Bruce has been shot at. There's been cars run through there trying to come through the gate. I mean, certainly it's not perfect all the time, but for the most part, it's a community of people. And those community, by the way, they protect Bruce and his family fiercely.
That's great. Last question for you, Bruce, and that is about just in the ATL and the state of Georgia and funding issues. And I mean, I just think about, right now the president is in a feud with the Pope, and it's ridiculous. You want politicians to stay out of religion and vice versa. But for you, how do you deal with state officials, government officials, when you're operating sometimes on a shoelace like that? Are they always helpful, or do they get into your way a lot?
Well, having been here as long as we now have great relationship with city officials. It wasn't always that way, but I think longevity historical evidence now play in our favor. You know, I'm not apolitical, but I'm not involved in politics at all. I'm just here doing this kind of work, and you know, I know there are government programs, some good, some not good, but here we're almost 100% privately funded, so we ask for resources from the government because we don't want them telling us how we should do the kind of work we feel we're called to do, and we're glad to partner them in ways of helping to tell the story of our success. But it's an amenable relationship. Any bad relationships with our government officials.
The film is called The Greatest of These, presented by the City Refuge. It is available brand new tomorrow, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and Documentary Plus. We've been speaking to the man himself, Pastor Bruce Deel, and the award-winning director of this film. It's Nick Nanton. Gentlemen, congratulations. And Bruce, we say it all the time, but you're quite literally doing the Lord's work, so keep it up.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity to talk.
Thanks for having us.
All right, good stuff. I'm Rick Tittle. We'll take a quick break, and we will come back on Byline.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind, financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you from Senior Care USA. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. That leaves your loved ones the burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay your family up to $1,000 to help pay for your funeral and other expenses. There are no exams. Your rates will never increase, and your plan cannot be regardless of your medical conditions, as long as you make your premium payments. Get up to $30,000 in final expense insurance. Now for free information, just answer a few simple questions and get approved over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. That's 800-399-6879. Packages start at $29.99 a month with signed agreement. Restrictions apply. Speak to a representative for complete offer details. See Vivint.com for license details. Terms and conditions apply.
Homeowners, if you're looking for the best in home security and smart home technology at a price you can actually afford, we have great news. Now you can get Vivint's award-winning home security systems starting at about $1 a day. U.S. News and World Report has recognized Vivint as the best professionally installed home security system of 2022. And now, you can get Vivint's home security technology for about $1 a day. Plus, get free professional installation from a licensed technician. Protect your home and loved ones for as low as $1 a day. Call right now for your free home security consultation.
800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. That's 800-918-6189.
With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Call us to get your Care Watch right now.
800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. That's 800-853-8931.
Please let this nightmare stop! Please, I beg you to stop!
invented FUBU?
Girl, don't act like I didn't invent FUBU. I wish you would. These are in first place. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Tiger Woods' lawyer, Douglas. By the way, two things Boston gets wrong. I love Boston. I really like it. First of all, they have the beer there, but Dunkin' Donuts. You guys think those are donuts? Those stale, little, tasteless, bland rings? No. My friend who's Cambodian, he said, you can't have donuts that aren't made by Cambodians. And I said, oh, yeah, there are a lot of Asians. He goes, no, those aren't Asians. Those are Cambodians. I'm like, you telling me that none of those donut places I go to, I thought that the guy was from China. He goes, no, they're all Cambodian. I go, okay, they're all Cambodian, but whatever. They make real donuts. Big, fluffy, old-fashioned glaze. Dunkin' Donuts. Ugh. I want to sponsor my show, then I love you. You whore. Sorry. Anyway, Tiger's attorney, Douglas Duncan, is attempting to block a subpoena from prosecutors asking for Tiger's prescription drug record. And this is the Lewis Pharmacy in Palm Beach, Florida. Beginning of the year till the end of March. They just want to know what was prescribed, how many pills, the dosage amounts, the medication instructions, the date of next refill, and warnings in vehicle operation. Duncan said, this right to privacy is admittedly not absolute, and the state shows no relevance of the records to its criminal investigation and thus warrant intrusion into Mr. Wood's privacy. You know, you could say, well, if you got nothing to hide, let it go. But on the other hand, I do understand, and it's none of your damn business what drugs I take. Duncan said the defense objects to the issuance of a subpoena and requests the court to conduct a hearing to determine if the prescription records are relevant to a criminal investigation. So, Tiger don't want to know what type of drugs you're taking. And you know what? I don't blame him. Not mind your own business. It's just mind your business. It's implied that it's your own. All right. Let's take a break, a newscast. Hour 3, come on back.
I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning. And producer Dom, please alert the affiliates we're going long today because I'm going to do my best in about 4 minutes or so to tell you about former heavyweight champion of the world, Ken Norton. Because I doubt the kids today know what kind of Renaissance badass Ken Norton was. They likely don't even know how awesome his son Ken Norton Jr. was in the NFL because he retired 25 years ago. But I digress. Born August 9th, 1943 in Springfield, Illinois, Norton was a natural all-around athlete in youth. During his high school years, he was so good in track and field, winning 7 of 8 state competitions one year, that the state of Illinois instituted what would become known as the Ken Norton Rule, limiting how many events one student could enter. Norton went to Northeast Missouri State University on a football scholarship, and after graduation, he joined the Marines. It was while serving where Norton picked up the boxing game, becoming the best boxer the U.S. Armed Forces ever produced. He won 3 Marine heavyweight titles and became an international amateur champion. In 1967, Norton turned pro and immediately racked up a 16-0 record with 15 by KO. He was touted for a fight against Muhammad Ali, but a shocking KO loss put a hold on Norton's dreams. It would take another 13 victories before Norton would get his and he'd make the most of it. On March 31st, 1973 in San Diego, Norton unleashed an unorthodox crab stance on an underprepared Ali. brought to him by legendary trainer Eddie Fudge, blocked Ali's jabs by crossing his arms and then firing back from a low trajectory, badly breaking Ali's jaw in the process, en route to winning a 12-round split decision. A rematch was held on September 10th, 1973 at the Forum in Inglewood, California. Famously, or maybe more infamously, Ali won a close 12-round split decision that judges, media members, and fans just couldn't agree on. Ali didn't want anything to do with Norton anymore and moved towards a rematch against Joe Frazier. That left Norton with the opportunity to face the heavyweight champion of the world, George Foreman. The two monsters met on March 26, 1974 in Caracas, Venezuela, and with Ali at ringside egging him on, Foreman, who was in the heights of his scary era, knocked Norton out 2 minutes into the second round. A story for another day? Both men were shaken down by cops before they were allowed to leave the country. Norton regrouped quickly and went 7-0 with 7 more KOs, including a 1975 battering of Jerry Corey at Madison Square Garden. Also in 1975, Norton, whose nickname was Black Hercules for his incredible physique, made his acting debut in the big-budget exploitation film Mandingo, kicking off a long career on big screen and television. On September 18, 1976, Norton fought a third fight with Ali at Yankee Stadium, and many who watched, including Ali, thought Norton had won, but Ali was given the unanimous decision. A seething Norton would return 8 months later and knock out the unbeaten Dwayne Bobbitt in 58 seconds. One fight later, Norton would win a split decision over Jimmy Young and later be named by the World Boxing Council as its heavyweight champion of the world after title holder Leon Spinks chose a rematch with Ali over fighting Norton. Norton's time with the title was short, losing it 7 months later to Larry Holmes by way of another split decision in a fight whose 15th round is one of the greatest in heavyweight history. Norton went 1-2-1 in his final 4 fights, including infamous tilts against Scott Ledoux and Jerry Cooney, the latter being Norton's final fight on May 19, 1981. In addition to his acting roles, Norton used his voice to not only commentate on boxing, but he also became a member of the Sports Illustrated Speakers Bureau, where he traveled to make appearances and give speeches. In 1985, Norton helped begin a sports agency to represent athletes and signed superstar Los Angeles Rams running back Eric Dickerson. But in 1986, Norton was involved in a serious single-car accident on the Santa Monica Freeway. He suffered a fractured skull, jaw, ribs, and leg, as well as other assorted injuries, and while he was never fully mobile again or able to speak like he once had, Norton was able to get back into the public eye. A series of strokes later in life further debilitated Norton, and sadly passed away on September 18, 2013. In a time where there are few American athletes of any size looking to be involved in boxing, I love jumping onto YouTube and other places to remember and celebrate these great fighters, and Ken Norton was one of those men. I'm TV with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 5-minute warning.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it. One gift is the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled KATY.org. Team up with them today.
Rick Tittle knows his sports.
I hate that guy.
I love that guy. Oh my God, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, and he eats it.
Ricky T in the hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
Hey, thank you so much, and welcome to Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. What's going on with you? What's going on with y'all? Come on in and get hurt, girl. 1-800-878-PLAY is the number to call. 1-800-878-7529. Coming up this hour, J.D. Sharp's scheduled appeared. We'll see. We also have Abdelrahman Storm Shalan. Great name for a sumo wrestler. And the gold medalist, Erin Jackson, speed skater, flag bearer. She will join us as well. Very excited to have Erin on the show as well. And your calls, of course, 1-800-878-PLAY. You know, this trend of teams locking up young talent, I think is smart. A couple of them won't pay off. It's just the way it goes. First, we saw Colt Emerson, the Mariners, who never played one day in the bigs, 8 years, $95 million. The Pirates called up Connor Griffin. He played one game. They gave him 9 years, $140 million. And now, yesterday, the Tigers gave their young shortstop, Kevin McGonigal, 8-year, $150 million extension. So you look at Connor Griffin, 9 for $140. McGonigal got 8 for $150. It's just a year less and $10 million more. Do the math. I'm not going to do it. But I think it's smart for these teams to do this. The risk reward is if it doesn't pay off, well, it's $150 million. That's a lot of money, but over a decade, you can handle it. If it does pay off, you are getting the biggest bargain ever. Unless they have the temerity, the gall, the audacity to hold out. I signed that under duress. At least that's what my agent tells me to say. All right, 1-800-878-PLAY. I'm on Twitch.tv. I'm on YouTube. Also, CRN Digital, +2, the cable radio network, Channel 2, cable provider, TuneIn app, iHeartRadio, up, Stitch Up, SportsByline.com. Emails, rick@sportsbyline.com. We'll come on back for hour 3.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you've lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with SportsBettingClaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost their properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
Keep listening for details on how to get up to $300 airline credit. Sky Holidays introduces a one-of-a-kind air credit program. Our buying team got a little too aggressive in getting hotel and air deals, so now we have to liquidate our prices. Here's how. Whether you want to go to Paris, Las Vegas, London, Atlanta, Hawaii, or anywhere else in the world, we have amazing deals. Book a selected hotel and we'll give you up to $300 airline credit. Now you can book your vacation and get a free credit to use towards airline travel. We'll book both, airline and hotel, with one simple phone call. We have access to most airlines and deals on thousands and thousands of places to stay. Call right now, book your hotel rooms, claim your airline credit. You can change or modify it at any time. 800-256-4816. 800-256-4816. That's 800-256-4816.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if
you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Sponsored by Specialty Medical. 800-913-9739. 800-913-9739. 800-913-9739. That's 800-913-9739.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome, he's a genius.
I am so excited to be back on the Rick Tittle Show.
Thank you for that. Welcome back to the show. Hour 3 underway, and 11:12, we check in with J.D. Sharp from Pro Wagering, professional prognosticator. J.D., yesterday we were talking about the play-in games, and we both thought the Clips would win. And I said, unless Curry has one of those games, and there's always a chance. And he waited till the second half. But do you look at it as, Curry is, of course, an all-timer, one of the all-time greats, but he's 38. Al Horford, who's going to be 40 in 2 months. Porzingis is always banged up. Draymond is 36. Do you look at that as tip your hat to the old guys who dug deep and got it out one more night? Or do you say, what a monumental collapse, a 13-point lead. We threw away Kawhi's great season. How do you look at it?
All right, both ways. I mean, obviously, it was a monumental collapse. But, and you know what? I forgot that they picked up Porzingis when I made that statement. I forgot because, that guy basically has like AIDS. He's constantly just sick or injured or something is wrong with him all the time. And, I forgot that they picked him up. I mean, he's still 7'3". He's still 255. He can shoot. He can dribble. He can score. He can do a lot of things. But, as far as Stephen Curry goes, and obviously Horford, he's always been a really good athlete. Green's a good defensive player. Horford's also a winner. He's won multiple championships with the Celtics. Curry, he's probably a top 10, maybe even a top 5 player of all time. I mean, yeah, and these days, being with all the different peptides they have now, the retatrutide and the, HGH, and apparently LeBron James has been on retatrutide for 3 years. No one really knows about it, but these peptides are really taking America by storm. That's one of the things. The things that are happening right now in medicine make playing till 40, 42, 45. Look at Brady. He's obviously on every single thing you could ever think of. And the guy threw a complete, perfectly thrown and touchdown pass in that game, with where Terrence Crawford was on his team. The game, the Fanatics game. That Fanatics
flag football?
The flag football game, exactly. Yeah. So I'm not surprised Curry's doing this. He's obviously in great shape. His game requires him to be fast, and I've seen him in person. He's chiseled from head to toe. I mean, the guy's got like 7 or 8 veins just in like his right calf. I mean, the guy's really in good shape, and obviously he's an exceptional shooter. He's a hell of a competitor. So I'm not surprised that Curry did what he did. I forgot that they picked up Porzingis. My bad. But how about that collapse by the Clippers? Come on, you pick up Mathurin. You get Harden off your team because you can't win. You bring in Garland, Leonard, George, Collins, Jordan Miller, Kobe Sanders. I mean, the team is pretty solidly put together, and you still lose at home to an old Warriors team. So yeah, Clippers obviously just doing what the Clippers do, which is losing games in big moments, Rick.
And we just want to make sure you're kidding with Porzingis has AIDS. So.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I'm just saying, like hypothetically, it seems like the guy has some type of immune disorder.
All right,
because he's obviously.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
He's always sick. Yeah. I got you. I just want.
I
just want.
I don't know if he actually has AIDS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he doesn't. All right. Tomorrow, I'd like to get your thoughts. Hornets are at Magic, and the Hornets are actually favored by 3.5, and then the Warriors go to the Suns, and the Suns are favored at home by 3.5. Let's start with the Hornets at the Magic in Orlando. Your thoughts?
Why are the Hornets going to the Magic and the Blazers are just automatically facing the Spurs? I don't get that. Can you explain that to me? I don't understand that.
So it goes when it goes 7, 8, 9, 10 with those play-ins. If you are in the top two, if you win the first one, you're automatically the 7th seed.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, the Hornets are gonna beat the Magic. Yeah, they're gonna beat the Magic. I mean, I was right about the Sixers. Right about that.
Right.
So that worked out. Maxey was definitely too much. Edgecombe played pretty well. That Hornets team can play. They play really well together. Again, Knepel had 6 points and they still won. He's not going to do that again. But they have size. They have athleticism. They have grit. They got that Kalkbrenner kid from Creighton. He's pretty good. He's playing pretty well. Sion James, that rookie Duke, he's playing pretty well as well. So they have a little bit of depth. Grant Williams obviously can come off the bench and make some things happen. So yeah, I think the Hornets win that game.
Warriors go to the Suns. And look, the Suns aren't amazing, but can the Warriors carry the momentum, or do you think they kind of got their shot?
I mean, after doing what they did, I hope they can. I hope they do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, the Suns have a good team. Jalen Green, Devin Booker, Mark Williams, Dylan Brooks. That's a pretty good team. They match up better with the Warriors than the Clippers do, because the Clippers are still kind of old. The Suns are not old. The Suns' oldest player is Royce O'Neal, and maybe Devin Booker, like 29. I mean, they're not very old. So, yeah, I think the Suns probably win that game. But I've been wrong. I've been wrong with the Warriors this year. So don't take that to the bank, so to speak.
What do you think is going? You mentioned Jalen Green, who looked like a young guy who was destined for stardom, maybe even superstardom, and stardom, I should say. And look, he had a good season. He averaged about 18 points a game. Do you think he's going to get to the point where he can add like 10 to that and average like 28 a game and be that kind of guy, or do you think this is kind of like his ceiling?
Yeah, I think so. I think Jalen Green, he's still 22, 23. He's still pretty young, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say that he's a bust or anything.
Yeah.
24, whatever.
Yeah.
Top 2, top 3 pick. I don't want to say he's a bust. He still has size. He still has athleticism. He's still pretty good for a 2 guard. He hasn't been. He's got like a 7'3" or 4 wingspan, but he hasn't been as good as people thought he would. He's also been hurt. But he did play pretty well. He had 30 points in that game, if I recall. So I think he's still got quite a bit of time to go before you can call him a bust or anything like that. But is he going to be a Hall of Famer? It looks like no. It looks like he's going to be. Who can I compare him to at this point? Maybe like an Eric Gordon,
mm-hmm.
or like a really poor man's Bradley Beal, perhaps. That's kind of what I see with him at this point.
Last question for you, and we know that the Warriors, no matter what happens, they're going to try at least one more year to give Curry another shot to win. Now, if I hire J.D. Sharp as my GM, who has no emotional attachment to San Francisco or Steph Curry, do you come in and say, look, we can still, at this point, some team's going to give us 3 number ones for Curry. Let's rebuild now?
Hell no. No way.
Good.
No, I don't do that. You can't just trade him because he's getting old. You know, he made that franchise relevant. He's the one that brought Kevin Durant there. Yeah, you can't. Even if we could get 3 number ones, which we couldn't. But even if we could, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even consider it. You got to let him. You got to let him finish his career out in San Francisco, Oakland, that general area, so to speak.
Yeah, I happen to agree with you. All right, everybody, if you want to ask JD a question, whatever your sport, check out his expertise in an email. Send it to sharp@betmypicks.com. And JD, of course, with Pro Wagering. Always good stuff. Thanks for your time, man.
Hey, thanks a lot, Rick.
Yeah, how about that? JD and I completely agree on that. I don't care if Curry is like limping the whole last year. You let him stay as long as you want, and I think Joe Lacob will. Come on back.
I've got a question for you. Do you want a lower car payment just by making a phone call? You know, most people buy a car and they pay whatever the car dealer says their interest rate is, and they forget about it and make payments. But did you know there is a secret in your contract that allows another company to refinance any car payment to try and lower it? It's true. There is indeed a company out there that knows the ins and, more importantly, the outs on car loans, and they know how to lower your current car payments. It's easy and fast, and you could have a lower car payment next month. Make this free call right now and find out if you could lower your existing car payment. Call the Car Savings Hotline right now. The call is free.
Call now. 800-605-1680. 800-605-1680. 800-605-1680. That's 800-605-1680.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-915-9654. 800-915-9654. 800-915-9654. That's 800-915-9654.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
And by the way, can I just say, Rick, that Rick Tittle is one of the great names of all time.
Getting your grand panties all a bunch. We got Rick Tittle up in here.
All right, thanks for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. Well, coming up on May 15th at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, is going to be a very cool sumo event put on by World Elite Sumo, which is the first independent professional sumo wrestling league established outside of Japan. And the CEO of that and a sumo wrestler himself joins us right now. It is Abdelrahman Shalan, who we know as Sandstorm. Sandstorm, welcome to the show. First of all, tell me how WES all came together under your leadership, please.
First of all, thank you for having me today, and thank you for this great introduction. So I'm the first and the only professional sumo wrestler from Africa, Middle East. I moved to Japan at the age of 18, and that was 2010. And since then, and I had like 10 years as a pro sumo wrestler. And during that time, it was like that small idea of why only the pro sumo only here in Japan, why it's not worldwide. And until like 10 years later, I came to the U.S. and I started working on that idea. Why don't we have the first pro sumo league outside Japan? I started working on it, and this is like the most important step right now for having our event at the debut at the Prudential Center, which is one of the biggest arena in the world. That's a very big step for us to get there.
I think it's really cool when you look at the list, and you're absolutely right. You got a Russian, a Samoan, a Brazilian, a Puerto Rican, and some Americans as well. One originally from Hungary. And I think about the sport. I mean, it's got to be the oldest sport in the world, some 800 years.
Yes.
It's yeah. They shouldn't. One country. I mean, look, Japan is the king and always will. But yeah, spread the love, right?
Of course. Yeah, that's the idea. So when I was in the pro league in Japan, we're talking about like every sumo stable there has only one place for non-Japanese. So we had like sumo stables was active at the pro league. Only 50 non-Japanese are allowed to be there, since only one place for non-Japanese. So if you check on the flags we have on names on our event, you will see more than 7-8 different flags. So we have opening more opportunities for the sumo wrestlers around the world, that it's open for anyone who can compete, who will be willing to compete with such big names like we have. We have this most, like the least one we have, at least world champion 2 times. So it's, you have to be qualified to be with us.
It's hard to get up to that Yokozuna, that top spot. But when I think about the guys who, like in the 80s and 90s that I know, the one that when you talk to Japanese people, they always say, oh, no, it's Taiho, who was like half Ukrainian. But that was like in the 50s. What about the legend?
Okay,
the legend.
Believe it or not, Taiho is my coach.
What?
Yes. So my sumo stable is all dojo. So the coach of my coach is Taiho, and when I joined sumo in Japan, Taiho, like I met Taiho for like 2 years. He was literally like a main coach of my stable before he passed away.
Wow.
And he was like the main. So my name at the beginning was Suna Arashi, and Taiho started with O at the beginning. So he said, you're a gaijin, and I love gaijin because I'm a gaijin myself. Gaijin is like non-Japanese or in Japanese language.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me half of his name. So instead of my name from Suna Arashi, it becomes O Suna Arashi, the Great Storm, because of Taiho.
The one that we always look to here is Akibono, because he was from Hawaii, and he's got legendary status too, right?
I met the legend himself like few times, and we had few stories together. So Akibono, after he retired, he did some K1 fights and MMA fights, and same thing I did. And like one of the opponent I met, it was one of his opponents. So we had a story back then. It was in the newspapers in Japan that, hey, like, I know you're gonna meet him. I met him before. I want you to get my revenge from me. So and I met him also when at the very beginning of me at sumo. So I had good relationship with Akibono, peace be upon to him, and I also know the legend Kuniski, one of the legend originally here from the U.S. They really people get proud of it.
No doubt. So, as in I know you were born in Egypt. I'm a big soccer fan. I know a lot of people love Mo Salah, and he's going to be leaving Liverpool. But for me, as a Tottenham fan, my guy was Mido. Do you remember him? The crazy striker.
Believe it or not, Mido is a good friend of mine.
What?
Yes, I know Mido. I know Mido personally. He is like on the personal life. No, he's a really good guy, and he's one of the top athletes from Egypt who did the pro league. He literally did everything possible can be happen in the pro life of any athlete.
I remember in the African Cup of Nations when he was subbed, he took off his Egypt shirt and he threw it down, and then the guy that went for him scored the winning goal, and it was like, oops.
Yeah.
But I loved him at Tottenham. He was such a good. He had so much passion, and he played with rage.
Yes, that's true, and that's all. Like honestly, that what makes the difference between, like I would say, a successful project, which is like being a pro athlete or working on having your own league. It's all about passion. Whatever, like however the passion, however strong the passion you have, then yeah, you would get there as hard as your passion with what you do.
So now your style, I know there's different styles. You basically, I don't know the term, but you bum rush people, right? You just try to like offensive linemen right out of the ring.
So in sumo we have like slaps, and I love to slap my opponent so bad. So it's, let's say it's a mix of rules what we have between here in the U.S. between the power slap and between the takedown style.
So what is 300 pounds the minimum? Like, what if I showed up at 270? Would everyone laugh at me?
Believe it or not, like we have wrestlers who is like less than 180 pounds.
What?
We have a wrestler, the Hungarian wrestler. He's half Hungarian. His name is Edabor, and his ring name is Giant Slayer. And we call him this name because he always beat all the big guys. He literally, and like not just big guys, like champions. He beat world champions. He's a young wrestler here, based here in the U.S., half Hungarian, half American, and he's 22 years old, but he's a beast.
For you, what was it like 10, 12 years ago when you were like defeating Yokozuna and you were, as they say, big in Japan? You were the toast of the town. How cool was that to be famous in Japan?
Honestly, it was really cool that you might not even see how big of the responsibility you're having. Like being that little kid who was the first and the only wrestler from Africa, Middle East, like who won against all the Yokozuna, who do this, who do that, like lots of media, lots of fame. Yes, it was very crazy since it started until it finished. But to be honest, the main thing which I've always had in mind, yes, I want to have this open pro league. Yes, the pro sumo is very interesting to be not just in Japan. Sumo is way too entertaining that if you could show it to the people in the right way, now like the whole interest will go there.
One night, 12-man tournament, World Elite Sumo at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. This will be on May 16th. Make sure to get out there. The doors open at 6. It'll begin at 7. You can go to prucenter.com or you can go to worldelitesumo.com as well. And we've been speaking to the CEO of the WES, Abdelrahman Sandstorm Shalan. Good talking to you, man. And if you ever see Mito again, tell him I said what's up.
You got it. I'll send him today.
All right.
You got the word.
Very good stuff. Thank you. And so I forgot what Mito's name was. It was like Muhammad something, but he was just Mido. And he had played he was kind of like the precursor to the Zoltan Ibrahimovic. He was that type of striker. And tall, athletic, lanky. He kind of looked like Nick Kyrgios, the tennis player. But he's a fantastic player. And when he played for Tottenham, he just played with a huge... I had this big poster of Mito in my computer room at my house for many years. But I always thought that was a cool name, just Mito. Mido. But anyway... how cool is the name? Abdelrahman Sandstorm Shalan. Get out there with your sumo girl. All right, when we come back, we'll talk to a United States Olympic flag bearer and gold medalist. What do you think of that? On Sports Byline.
Go I'm an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up your vehicle for free. Running or not, it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show your support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you'll get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar. It's a beautiful piece of American history, and it's 1 ounce of silver. Originally minted in 1986, these coins are a beautiful classic piece of American history, and they're a great investment you should add to your portfolio. The beauty of silver is that however much you have available to invest, silver is affordable and easy to acquire, with one coin costing around $30. So, if you choose to invest a few thousand in silver, you can get quite a bit for your money, and you'll have a tangible asset that you can hold, one you can be proud to own. Claim your piece of American history with American Silver Eagle dollars. Call the Silver Hotline right now.
800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. That's 800-620-1624.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work. Real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property.
If you're thinking about calling Rick Tittle, just put down that phone and shut your ugly face.
No, don't do that. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to welcome to the show a U.S. Olympic gold medalist. It is the lovely and talented Erin Jackson, and has had a long career as a very proficient speed skater, even into her 30s. She's a young lady, but in the sport, that's getting up there, and she's still getting it done. Erin, welcome to the show. And beyond that, the honor of being a United States flag bearer at the opening ceremonies, like, I think I would pinch myself just being on the team. How cool is it to be the flag bearer?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, and thanks for having me. But yeah, being the flag bearer, it was kind of a surprise. I was up against some really big legends on Team USA, but yeah, it's a super big honor to be chosen by the rest of my teammates.
And they reminded you, don't bow or curtsy. We don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I was so locked in carrying the flag. I mean, I feel like I don't know. All I saw was that flag, and I was just smiling and trying not to mess up.
So when you got the gold in Beijing in the 500 meters, normally you'd say, well, it'd be a woman from Holland or maybe Norway. A kid from Florida, amazing. How did you get into your sport? Because it wasn't right out there in front of you in the swamplands, right?
Right, yeah. So being from Florida, I actually grew up roller skating.
Mm.
So I would just hang out at the skating rink for fun. Like, it was just my fun little hobby. And then I got into speed skating on roller skates when I was about 10 years old. And I, rose to the ranks in that sport, but it's not an Olympic sport. So a lot of people, when they got to the top of inline skating, they would switch over to ice. So I saw a lot of people doing that, but I waited a little bit later in life. Like you mentioned, I'm kind of older. So I didn't start skating on ice until I was about 24, 25 years old.
So I remember in the 90s, it was about Bonnie Blair, and I think she was from like Minnesota, one of the, near the Great Lakes.
Milwaukee, yeah.
Yeah, and, Eric Heiden with the men, it was just, that's something that you grew up with. But how much of it, because, even the people say you're on skates, I mean, ice skating and roller skating are two different things. The way you move your ankles and everything, I would imagine. Or did you take to it like a fish to water, or was it hard, that transition?
I mean, to me, it was super hard because, yeah, like you said, like, of course, they're both types of skating, but when you're at that level, like, you have to be really precise, really technical. So they were super different feels, super different techniques. So, yeah, I just put in a lot of extra time on the ice, like, try to show up to extra training sessions. And, yeah, I guess in the grand scheme of things, I picked it up pretty quickly. But, yeah, from my perception, it was a lot of hard work.
And I don't think any athlete goes into something being, I want to be an inspiration and a role model. You wanted to compete, but being of African heritage in a sport that is pretty lily white, I'm sure a lot of people looked up to you and just said, oh, I didn't even think I could do that. What is it like being inspirational like that?
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the coolest part is, getting those messages, seeing those posts from other people who maybe got inspired to skate because they saw me doing it. Like, yeah, you're right. I didn't really think about it going into, this career, but just seeing the outcome has been really, really cool. So if we can get more people involved in winter sports or like speed skating specifically, that's kind of my goal.
I was looking at all the places this sport has taken you around the world, just about every continent, and I see consistently a town I never heard of, but it must be a speed skating amazing place. Tomaszów Mazowiecki in Poland. How do you say it?
Tomaszów Mazowiecki.
What is it about that town in Poland that they embrace speed skating?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I've been to Poland more times than I think is necessary for anyone to visit Poland. We race there almost every year. I think this past year was the first time since I've been speed skating on ice that we didn't go to Poland. So I don't know what it is. I think they just like hosting us there. It's a super small town. There's literally nothing to do except for speed skate, but it's not too bad.
So, as I said, you're still a competitor. Are you already have like an exit strategy? Like, I want to coach, I want to be in, broadcasting, or I want to reinvent myself and do something completely different?
Well, the main reason why I started on ice so late, like when I was about 25, is because I was focused on school mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So before I moved out to Salt Lake City, I actually got a degree from the University of Florida in materials engineering. And then since moving out to Salt Lake, I picked up a couple more degrees, like in computer science, and I'm in the middle of a couple more. So I guess kind of my exit strategy would be maybe like a hard left from sports and then going to like biomechanics ideally.
Well, you're talking to a guy who studied journalism, so I don't know I know what engineering is. What is materials engineering?
It's more like the chemistry side. So let's see. I guess an example, like when I was in my senior year, I worked with the College of Dentistry, and we were working on dental materials.
Wow.
So like a material that it wouldn't like self-heal a crack, but it would stop like a crack in your tooth from progressing. So that sort of thing. But I guess with biomechanics, I'd want to work on like prosthetics and medical materials.
You mean you actually want to help people?
I want to try, yeah, definitely, especially now, like being part of the Olympic movement and seeing a lot of the Paralympic athletes.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be really cool to help them out with their prosthetics.
So when you were living in Salt Lake, did you get around in your Toyota Tundra?
Yeah, I've got a Toyota RAV4, and it is amazing. Yeah. Yeah, it's been amazing that Toyota. It's the plug-in hybrid, so price is high. I don't even know what gas costs because I'm just driving like a half electric vehicle. So it's been amazing.
A couple years ago in D.C., I rented a RAV4, drove it to Savannah, Georgia, and back, and no complaints.
Yeah, I love that car. And just being part of Team Toyota, I mean, it feels like a family, just, getting to connect with all the different athletes there and the people who work with Toyota. Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better team to be with.
When you started skating, did they ever come to you? Because I know this is like Scott Hamilton. He started off as a young hockey player, and they're like, you're not very tough, but you're an amazing skater. Why don't you get into figure skating? So did you ever get to the point where you were such a great skater that the hockey team was like, hey, do you know how to handle a stick? Why don't you come over here?
No, never hockey, sadly. I've always had my eye on hockey. I feel like that would be pretty cool to try. But I did actually try figure skating first. So it's called, like on roller skates, it's called artistic skating. So like the same thing, figure skating, but on wheels.
Right.
So I did that for about 2 years. Like someone spotted me just at the rink and said, oh, you're a good skater. You should try artistic skating. So yeah, I did that for a little bit before switching over to speed skating.
I know about that because years ago, my aunt competed in the state championships in Fresno, and I went to that event.
Oh, nice.
Long time ago.
Small world.
It is a small world. So for, in sports, there's new equipment, new innovations, new coaching. Or for you, from the day you started to now, is it basically the same sport, or have you seen huge innovations?
As far as what I do, I feel like it's basically the same sport. I feel like a lot of the innovation comes from the suit material, just like the aerodynamics of all of that. And then the real innovation has come on the team side of the sport. So I don't do the team pursuit, but our men, our team pursuit men, they actually revolutionized a new way of racing that event. And they're the world record holders. They just won another medal for it at the last Olympics. So at the last 2 Olympics, they won medals. And yeah, they just really changed the face of the sport for the team pursuit. And now everyone does it the way they do it, which I think is really cool.
What about the rumors, I don't know, reports? I mean, you've been to multiple Olympics that the Olympic Village, since most people aren't like you, they're not going to win medals. It's just a big rave. It's a big Studio 54 party. Is that over? Are those stories overblown?
Well, I feel like when you've been training so long, so hard, building up to this one moment, and then either you're done or you're just there or whatever your goal was, then there's like this big release, and it's like you want to just have fun and party and do all the things that you couldn't do with like those years of training. So, yeah, there's some truth to it. I mean, most people are locked in and like there to actually compete, but once they're done competing, I mean, yeah, it's a party.
And I wanted to ask you about the figure skating because we're very proud of Alyssa Liu. She's from my hometown, and it's
oh, awesome, yeah.
Yeah, and but I mean, to see an athlete not just win, but to the bravery to be that carefree, to be in the moment, to have a big smile on your face, and then to nail everything. That's very rare to see someone having the best time in their life while they're becoming a world champion. What did that performance mean to you guys?
It was so inspiring. Like, Alyssa is just an all-around amazing person. I got to hang out with her, quite a bit at the games, and just seeing her attitude and her demeanor. I mean, she's just the perfect role model for everyone. And I think, part of the reason why she had such an amazing performance is just how much she was enjoying herself. And you could really tell, like, through her performances. And yeah, it's like, I call it like poetry in motion. Like, she was just absolutely crushing it out there and having the best time while she was doing it.
So when's your next event, Erin?
My next event. So I'm in the off season for a little bit. I'm traveling around doing some media stuff and some sponsor stuff. Then I'm actually going to get into a little bit of roller derby, which I haven't done in a few years. And yeah, I'll start training again with the team at the beginning of June. And then our international season starts up again in November. So yeah, coming up.
Well, you're a great ambassador to this country, not just because you win, because I can tell you're a quality person. So best of luck. We've been speaking with Erin Jackson, U.S. Olympian, gold medalist, Team Toyota. Great having you on, and let's catch up soon.
Oh, for sure. Thank you so much.
All right. I'm Rick Tittle. Let's take a quick break. We'll come on back on Sports Byline.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or injured at work, you have rights, and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-401-5163. 800-401-5163. 800-401-5163. That's 800-401-5163.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you from Senior Care USA. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. That leaves your loved ones the burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay your family up to $30,000 to help pay for your funeral and other expenses. No medical exams, your rates will never increase, and your plan cannot be canceled, regardless of your medical conditions, as long as you make your premium payments. Get up to $30,000 in final expense insurance. Call now for free information. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call now.
Call 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. That's 800-399-6879.
Hello, Americans. It's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or have filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-943-9215. 800-943-9215. 800-943-9215. Again, for the last time, that's 800-943-9215.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Don't ask Rick Tittle to bring it, because it already done got brought.
All right. Thank you for that. And big show tomorrow, including Hans Niemann. And it looks like we might be able to have him for a couple segments. Hans Niemann, who has a Francisco background. He was born here, and I went to school in the East Bay a little bit. But if you watch that chess thing, that Untold thing, on Netflix with him and Magnus Carlsen and the chess.com guys. The anal beads story. He sued them for $100 million and then settled out of court for that. That is that's a big deal. But he is he's still a young man. He's in his 20s, and he's a guy who made a name for himself on chess.com, and he would scream and be like, yeah. And everyone in chess usually, you just shake hands and say, well done, and walk away. He was screaming, suck on that mother effer, yeah, I am the king. Then it found out that he was cheating. And so then when he beat he's a grandmaster, that's a category, but the world champion, the Norwegian player Magnus Carlsen, when he beat Magnus Carlsen said, he must have cheated. I had no chance in that game. And if you play a computer that knows chess, there's no way a human can beat it. There's no way, because it calculates, even the it's like Carlsen and Neiman, it's calculating millions of moves. Still only 22 years old, Hans Niemann, who left to move to New York by himself when he was 16, and he went down to like Washington Square Park and played all the dudes, the OGs, the tables there, and then he would just constantly. He'd go home, and then he would just have those, like, the blank chess things and just go over. And so these things like the Florentine defense and en passant and cast, all the things I know, it's child's play for that guy. But he also is a guy who has been wronged. He has settled out of court for $100